Hi, my name is Mrs. Trollman and I'm the art teacher at Pleasant Valley Elementary School. Today we're going to play with some printmaking techniques that you can try at home. Printmaking is a process where artists print their designs using different techniques. Today we're going to use markers and water to make our prints, but you can definitely use paint or ink instead. So I'm going to start by using a toilet paper tube, which is very common in households. You can use the circular end, or you could take it and pinch sides, like making it kind of a teardrop shape or a diamond or a square, making a different shape. Then we're going to choose a color. I'm going to choose blue, and you're going to apply the marker to the edge of the toilet paper tube. You want to make sure you don't miss any spots. The next step is to take your water. You can either use a sponge, or I'm going to use a paintbrush and get it a little bit wet and just apply the water to your paper lightly. You also need to take a napkin or a paper towel, or I have a little cloth, and you can pat dry so that it's just a little bit damp. You don't want it to be too wet. Then you're going to take your item, like the toilet paper tube, and press it down for a few seconds on your paper. You want to make sure all the edges are touching the surface. When you pull it up, you'll have a print. And you might wonder, well, I could have just done that with a marker. But the neat thing about printmaking is that you can do that, repeat that shape over and over again, creating a pattern. So I could do that again with the water and create that exact same shape. And I could overlap them if I want. You apply the water, pat dry, and then I could do a second print with that same item. Might be a little bit lighter that time, or you could reapply with a different color. So we can repeat that process with the bottle caps. I'm going to take my water, apply it to the paper again. Again, you want to pat dry. And then apply your marker with whatever color you want to choose. You could do the circle of the bottle cap on that edge. You could do a full circle on this edge, or you can even apply it to the side of the bottle cap, which has a really cool texture. And I chose these items around my house. I just looked for things that created different shapes and textures that I thought would be interesting to print. So I have my area here that I kind of got a little damp, and I'm going to press down and roll that on, creating a neat texture for my paper. We're going to repeat this process with the leaves. So I'm going to get my paper a little bit damp. Tap it dry. And I think I might make this look more realistic with green on my leaf. I'm going to use a napkin underneath so that I don't get any marker on my paper. The reason we add water to the paper is because it creates more of a watercolor effect when you print. I'm going to lay that on there carefully, making sure all of the edges of the leaf are flat. And then I'm going to use something like a napkin to press down my leaf. Make sure every edge is touching the surface. It's ready to pull up. That created a nice print. There is still a little bit of marker left on my leaf, so if I wanted to pull a second print, just again, dampen the paper. And I could pull another print with that same leaf without reapplying the marker. You notice on the second print, you can actually see more detail in the leaf because the marker isn't overwhelming the lines and the patterns in the leaf. So that's pretty cool. Another tool that you might have in your house is styrofoam. This is a really great resource because you can actually draw in the styrofoam to create your own design to then print multiple times. I found a styrofoam cup. So I'm going to take my cup and cut carefully the cup into some flat pieces. Okay, so I have a few pieces of styrofoam here, and what I want to do, you can either take a fork, you could take the end of your paintbrush, you could use a pencil or a pen, and create a design in your styrofoam that you would like to print. Okay. Now we follow the same process we've been doing. We take our marker and apply it to the styrofoam surface. You can choose any color you want. And for this, I would recommend using multiple colors. So I might add yellow for the sun. You just apply it to the top surface. You do not need to get the marker in the indented parts of the styrofoam. But I don't want just yellow. Maybe I will add a little bit of orange to give it some depth. Maybe we want it to look like a little bit of a sunset. Maybe a little bit of blue on the outer edges. Okay. So like before, we're going to take our water, apply it to the paper, pat dry, and now we're going to carefully grab our styrofoam. I'm going to press it straight down. Remember, we're not going to shift it or move it or slide it because we don't want to mess up our design. I'm going to put a napkin on top so I can really press down nicely to get a good even print. And voila, the print is done. Okay, so those are some techniques that you can do to try printmaking at home. I created a few that I'd like to show you too. This one is just an abstract design that I created, and I repeated the design to create a pattern. This one I created a kind of neat design with leaves, and I made a little color wheel. This one I created a little bit of a landscape and created a little boat scene with birds and the water, and I printed it together so that it looked like the boat was floating on the water, and there's a little bit of a sunset going on there. So yeah, you can create lots of different things using these printmaking techniques at home.